Hey, what's up, nerds? Today, we're going to talk about a time when Magic the Gathering wasn't just a game, but it was a gateway into Satanism and other things parents feared.
Good evening. Tonight we begin with a story about make-believe adventure and real-life violence.
In the mid-90s, Magic had all the hallmarks of something that would set off parental alarm bells. Ominous card names, eerie artwork, and kids whispering about summoning demons over their lunch tables. It was the era of the Satanic Panic hangover. A time when anything mystical, nerdy, or slightly countercultural got labeled as a gateway to something dangerous. For a while, Magic was lumped in with Dungeons and Dragons, heavy metal, and even Pokemon as a corrupting influence on America's youth.
Someone called and said, is Pokemon demonic?
The answer to that is yes, they are all Oriental demons.
And here is a picture of cute little Pikachu, and he's being energized by an energy ball. And now you notice he's not quite so cute anymore, and his little satanic tail is really erect.
He's giving me a stiffy.
But here's the thing, being banned only made the game more amazing. So the truth is, the Satanic Panic of the 80s never really ended. In the 1980s, we saw a wave of fear over supposed hidden satanic influences. You know, play your heavy metal record backwards and there's a message from the devil. Satan is good, Satan is my leader, Satan is good, Satan is my leader. Things like that. Dungeons and Dragons was a gateway to Satan worship.
Diana, there goes one happy little unicorn.
Yep.
Yeah, that Dungeons and Dragons. But even as the era faded, the paranoia didn't dissolve overnight. It simply found new targets. By the mid-90s, Magic the Gathering had become one of them. Parents saw their kids obsessing over Magic decks, spouting strange-sounding incantations like Dark Ritual and Demonic Tutor, and that sounds a little bit too much like real witchcraft. And the fear wasn't just talk. Some religious groups took Magic very seriously and sometimes to absurd levels.
Increasingly, parents and psychiatrists are warning that the game is taking some children too far into the realm of dark and violent fantasy.
Since these games are so violence-oriented, you do not just play at the game, you become the game.
And they even formed what was called a magic club, and that all the kids were part of this magic club. Well, the mother said, well, you're not going to become a part of that. But one of the kids had given him one of the cards, and that card he showed to his mother, and that card was called Necromancer.
Could you be a little more specific? Some of this hysteria even bled into the legal system. Parents in some school districts pressured school boards to investigate whether Magic was a form of gambling, citing the buying, trading, and the rarity of the cards. Of course, we know Magic's not gambling now, don't we? Of course, none of this was really true. Kids weren't summoning demons. They were just arguing over who had the best mono black deck. But the more the adults feared Magic, the more cool it became. So let's talk about some of the cards that freaked parents out. First, we have Unholy Strength. We've got to look at the editions from Revised or prior. The original artwork for this card features a pentagram, which was a big nope for conservative parents. In some households, even having this card was enough to get an entire deck confiscated. Under pressure, Wizards of the Coast removed the pentagram from later printings, starting with 4th edition, trying to put out the fire. I'm sorry, it's just a freaking pentagram. And of course, we had the Demonic Tutor, a card with demonic in the name. Well, in the 90s, that was enough to send parents into a moral meltdown. The artwork showed a menacing figure offering knowledge in exchange for a price. Basically, the classic deal with the devil trope. To parents already on high alert, this was proof that Magic was corrupting their kids. Dark Ritual, of course, with its flames, the implication of forbidden power in that book that the figure is holding. It looked exactly what a parent was afraid real Magic was. They didn't want their kid playing with this, even though it was just a simple mana ramp spell. Its name and eerie artwork cemented it as one of the most dangerous cards in the game. So as schools started banning Magic, it didn't deter kids. It made them obsessed. Man, back then, if your parents said something was bad, it's the one thing you wanted to do. Since they couldn't play openly, kids often played in secret in basements, garages, or wherever they could avoid adult scrutiny. A game that was already fun now had an added layer of danger, not from demonic forces.
And that doesn't mean hook 'em horns, doesn't mean I love you, doesn't mean one more, it means hail Satan.
But for getting your deck confiscated by an overzealous teacher. Kids smuggled decks in their backpacks, played under lunch tables, and figured out the best ways to hide cards from nosy parents. Some even created innocent fake decks full of harmless looking cards in case they got caught, with their real decks staying hidden. It was the forbidden fruit, and let's be real, any kind of forbidden fruit makes it that much more exciting.
Really, the only word for it is...
But what's happened to magic since these early days of the Satanic Panic hangover? As magic grew, Wizards of the Coast got nervous. They saw what had happened to Dungeons and Dragons and knew that they could easily become a lightning rod for the same kind of controversy. They wanted magic to be more family friendly and marketable and make money. So they cleaned house. 4th edition, the pentagram on the Unholy Strength, gone. Direct satanic imagery, softened. Anything that could be seen as real magic, reworded, and turned into the goofy ass cards we have now. As time passed, magic moved on from its shadowy, mystical roots and to a more mainstream fantasy. The 90s had been the Wild West, experimental and something unsettling, but the 2000s and beyond saw the game just pushed into a commercial juggernaut. Now Magic is a corporate brand with crossover promotions, esports tournaments, neatly packaged booster sets, all of this freaking Universes Beyond garbage. I hate it. It's sold in Walmart and Target next to Uno or baseball cards. Parents don't ban Magic anymore because we were the ones that played it. And now we play with our kids at the kitchen table. That's not bad, necessarily. I mean, Magic has survived for more than 30 years, but something was lost in the translation. You've heard me say it once on this channel, and I'll say it a million times. The 90s and Magic was the golden age. It's not because the cards were better, or the art rawer, or the mechanics wilder. It's because it felt like something real. It was edgy, it was feared. It was the stuff of mystery, rumors, and underground legends. You learned to play because a friend of yours had a deck, and then you had a deck, and you shared it with other people. It spread kind of like a virus. Wait, I'm not helping my case. It made you feel like you were a part of something secret and special that the outside world did not understand. And for nerdy kids that were often bullied or treated poorly at school, Magic was the perfect escape, where they could be powerful, they could find friends, and they could do anything they could imagine. Now, it's commodified, sanitized, safe. Magic has lost some of that forbidden energy which made it magnetic back then. Sure, the game still exists, but it's a shadow of what it used to be. An echo of a time when it was whispered about in church sermons and played in secret by kids who felt like they were part of something bigger. Those were the best days of Magic because that was when it was dangerous. And isn't that what real magic is supposed to be? All right. I hope y'all have a great week. Tell me what your opinion is. I'd like to hear it. It's definitely like not something I feel like the younger players of Magic can really wrap their heads around. It was such a different time period in history. And we didn't really have much of an internet. Just crazy, paranoid parents. Anyway, you guys take care. I'll see you soon. Love talking about this stuff, and I love sharing it with you.
It means hail Satan.